The sun rose gently over Enchancia, painting the castle towers with gold. Princess Sofia awoke to the sound of chirping birds outside her window. It was going to be a special day. King Roland had announced a royal outing for the weekend, and every royal child in the kingdom was invited to participate in a team quest in the Whispering Woods. The goal was simple: work together in groups of 4 to complete magical challenges and find the crystal of unity. Sofia could hardly contain her excitement. "A quest!" she exclaimed, twirling in her lavender gown. Clover, her talking rabbit, hopped onto her bed. "Sounds like a lot of walking to me," Clover yawned. "You sure it's fun if there's no snacks involved?" Sofia laughed. "Of course there'll be snacks. But it's also about teamwork. Maybe Amber, James, and I can be on the same team." As Sofia made her way to breakfast, she saw her stepsister Amber already planning her outfit with sparkly gloves and a matching parasol. James was practicing his nightly moves, pretending to battle imaginary dragons in the hallway. "Good morning," Sofia greeted cheerfully. "Did you hear about the quest?" Amber smiled gracefully. "Of course I did. I'm going to win. My team will be fabulous." James rolled his eyes. "It's not about looking fabulous, Amber. It's about adventure and bravery." Before Sofia could suggest forming a team together, Princess Hildegard and Princess Cleo entered the dining hall. "Amber, be on our team," Hildegard said eagerly. "We'll be the best group ever." Amber immediately agreed. "Sorry, Sofia, it looks like my team's full." Sofia's smile faded for a second, but she quickly brightened. "That's okay. I'll just team up with James and maybe Princess Vivian." Vivian, the shy princess from another kingdom, smiled softly. "I'd love that, Sofia." Everything seemed perfect until Cedric, the royal sorcerer, appeared with a puff of smoke. "Ah, Princess Sofia, the king has asked me to add a magical element to the quest. Beware, each challenge will test your heart, not just your mind." Everyone gasped, and even Amber looked uncertain. Magical tests from Cedric could mean anything. Later that afternoon, the teams were finalized. Team Amber, Hildegard, Cleo, and Princess June. Team Sofia, James, Vivian, and, unexpectedly, Prince Xandar, the adventurous prince who loved climbing and racing. At the castle courtyard, Queen Miranda smiled proudly. "Remember, my darlings, this quest isn't about winning. It's about working together." But as the royal horn sounded and the gates to Whispering Woods opened, each team rushed forward with excitement, their competitive spirits high. Sofia's team followed a glowing path lined with enchanted flowers that hummed softly when touched. "Look at these flowers," Vivian whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. "They react to kindness," Sofia said. "Try talking to them gently." James, however, hurried ahead. "We don't have time to chat with plants. The other teams are getting ahead." As the forest deepened, the air shimmered with faint magic. The first challenge awaited, a silver gate guarded by glowing runes. A riddle appeared in the air. 4 hearts must shine as one, or this gate will stay undone. Sofia turned to her team with a smile. "Looks like this is where teamwork really begins." The silver gate shimmered with magic, its surface rippling like moonlit water. The riddle still glowed in the air above it. 4 hearts must shine as one, or this gate will stay undone. Sofia studied the gate carefully. "It must mean we have to work together somehow," she said softly. James crossed his arms. "Or maybe we just need to press those runes in the right order." Xandar grinned. "Let's try it." He rushed forward and tapped one of the glowing symbols. Instantly a burst of light flashed, and the gate pushed him back gently with a gust of enchanted wind. Vivian gasped. "Oh no, are you all right?" "Just a bit dizzy," Xandar said, wobbling to his feet. "Guess that wasn't it." Sofia smiled calmly. "Let's think about what it means for our hearts to shine as one. Maybe it's not about what we do alone, but what we do together." She closed her eyes and placed her hand on one of the runes. "Everyone, try touching the gate too, but think about something kind, something that connects us." James hesitated. Like what? Anything that reminds you of friendship, Sofia said gently. Helping one another, believing in each other. Vivian nodded and placed her hand on another rune. I'll think about how Sofia helped me find my confidence when I was shy. Xandar smiled. I'll think about all the fun we've had on adventures. And James, still a little skeptical, sighed. Fine. I'll think about how Sofia always keeps us from getting into trouble. As they all touched the gate, a warm golden glow surrounded them. The silver runes shimmered brighter and brighter until they merged into one beam of light. The gate slowly opened with a melodic chime, revealing a path lined with floating lanterns and soft mist. Sofia's eyes sparkled. We did it, together. They stepped through, the forest whispering softly as if congratulating them. But before they could celebrate for lo, they heard distant laughter. Amber's team was close behind. Oh no, James groaned. Amber's going to make fun of us if we're slow. Then let's stay ahead, Xandar said confidently. Come on, team. The next part of the path wound through a meadow where glowing butterflies fluttered around. Each one shimmered like tiny stars. But when Sofia reached out to touch one, it turned into a crystal shard and floated upward, joining others to form a glowing pattern in the sky. It's like a puzzle, Sofia said in awe. We have to collect these crystal butterflies to reveal the next clue. Vivian played a soft tune on her flute, and the butterflies began to gather closer. They like music. James and Xandar ran around catching them carefully, while Sofia used her wand to guide them toward the center. Slowly, the crystal butterflies formed a constellation that sparkled brightly. The stars arranged themselves into words. Follow the melody of truth, and the heart will show you proof. Before Sofia could decipher it, Amber's voice echoed from behind. Oh, look! Sofia's already done the hard part. Thank you, sister. Amber's team strutted past, trying to copy their work, but the butterflies fluttered away from them, refusing to form words again. Hey! What's happening? Cleo complained. Sofia smiled softly. Maybe the forest only helps those who work together with kindness. Amber pouted. We'll see about that, and marched off toward the deeper woods. Sofia turned to her friends. Come on, everyone. Let's follow the melody. It might lead us to the next challenge. And so, guided by Vivian's flute and the soft hum of the forest, the four friends continued deeper into the whispering woods, unaware that Cedric's next magical test was already waiting for them. As the group followed the soft melody of Vivian's flute, the mist around them began to thicken. The floating lanterns faded one by one, replaced by the silver shimmer of moonlight filtering through the trees. The path opened into a wide, sparkling river, its waters glowing softly with enchanted light. Across the river stretched a bridge made entirely of crystal. Each step sparkled like starlight, and the air above it shimmered with magic. At the entrance stood a marble pedestal with an inscription glowing faintly. To cross, you must see not what is, but what lies within. Sofia approached slowly. That sounds like a test about knowing ourselves. James frowned. Or maybe it's just another riddle. Maybe we just have to walk across? Before Sofia could stop him, James confidently stepped onto the bridge. Instantly, the crystal beneath his foot rippled like water, and a reflection appeared, not of him, but a smaller, frightened version of himself. What's going on? He stammered. The reflection spoke, its voice trembling. You always act brave, James, but sometimes you're scared of letting others down. James froze, his face turning pale. That's not true. But before he could finish, the bridge glowed red, and the crystal beneath him began to fade. Sofia reached out. James, you have to admit what's in your heart. That's what the riddle means. Taking a deep breath, James nodded. All right. I am scared sometimes. I just don't want to fail anyone. The red light turned gold, and the bridge solidified beneath his feet. Sofia smiled proudly. See, you did it. Vivian stepped next, her reflection showing a shy version of herself clutching her flute. You hide your talent because you think no one will listen, the reflection whispered. Vivian's eyes glistened. I've always been nervous to play in front of others. Sofia placed a reassuring ring hand on her shoulder. But your music brings magic to life, Vivian. You should never doubt it. Vivian nodded and smiled through her tears. The light around her glowed brighter, turning the bridge even more solid. Xandar went next, confident as ever, until his reflection crossed its arms and smirked. You always try to lead, even when you should listen. He blinked. Wait, what? I'm just trying to help. Sofia chuckled softly. Maybe the bridge is saying that real leaders listen too. Xandar sighed, realizing she was right. All right, I'll listen more. The bridge responded with another golden shimmer. Finally, Sofia stepped forward. Her reflection looked calm but tired. You always carry everyone else's worries, Sofia. You forget to trust yourself. Sofia's heart ached. I just want everyone to be happy. Even heroes need help sometimes, her reflection whispered kindly. For a moment, Sofia closed her eyes, letting the words sink in. When she opened them again, the entire bridge was glowing with warm, radiant light. They walked across safely, hand in hand. On the other side, Cedric's disembodied voice echoed faintly through the woods. Well done, Princess Sofia. But remember, every truth brings a choice, and every choice shapes your heart. The team exchanged glances. What does that mean? Xandar asked. I think Cedric's magic is guiding us toward something bigger, Sofia replied softly. Maybe the Crystal of Unity is more than just a prize. Behind them, Amber's team appeared on the far side of the river. Amber huffed in frustration. A talking bridge? Ugh, why can't these challenges just be normal? Sofia giggled quietly and motioned for her team to move ahead. They followed the moonlight deeper into the forest, where a faint glow pulsed ahead. The next test was waiting, and this time it would challenge not just their hearts, but their pride. Endship itself. The whispering woods grew darker as Sofia and her friends followed the glowing trail. Soon they reached a clearing surrounded by tall, twisting vines that formed a living maze. The vines shimmered softly, their leaves whispering secrets in the wind. Sofia read the glowing words carved on a stone archway. To find the heart of truth, walk paths apart, yet stay in tune. James groaned. Walk apart? That doesn't sound like teamwork at all. Before anyone could respond, the maze shifted, creating 4 doorways, one for each of them. Sofia took a steadying breath. I think we have to prove we can stay connected, even when we're apart. Let's meet in the center. They nodded and stepped through. Sofia's path. Her path glowed lavender beneath her feet, quiet and still. Whispering voices drifted through the air, her own thoughts echoing back at her. You can't fix everything, Sofia. What if you fail your friends? She touched her amulet gently. I don't need to fix everything. I just need to believe in them too. A golden light appeared, guiding her forward. James's path. James hurried along his trail until it split into 3 twisting corridors. Seriously? He muttered. He closed his eyes and listened. Faintly, he heard Sofia humming somewhere far away. That's it, he said, smiling. Follow her song. He turned left, and the vine shifted to let him pass. Vivian's path. Vivian's section glittered with glowing flowers. When she played a soft note on her flute, the flowers opened, lighting her way. But then she heard faint arguing, Xandar and James's voices echoing through the maze. Her fingers trembled. No, we can't fight. She began to play a gentle melody, calm and warm. Slowly, the echoes faded. Xandar's path. Xandar tried to climb the walls, but the vines grew higher every time. Okay, message received, he said, laughing. Then he heard Vivian's tune and whistle, and along, keeping rhythm to help her music carry farther. Slowly, all 4 sounds, Sofia's humming, Vivian's melody, Xandar's whistle, and James's laughter, blended together. The maze walls began to glow gold and twist open. A moment later, they all stepped into the same central clearing, reunited and smiling. "We did it!" James cheered, but before they could celebrate, a shimmer appeared in the air. An image of Amber's team lost somewhere deep in the maze, going in circles. Sofia frowned softly. "They're stuck. We should help them." Xandar hesitated. "But if we turn back, we'll lose time." Vivian nodded. "Still, it wouldn't be right to leave them behind." Sofia looked at her friends and smiled. The crystal of unity isn't just about winning. It's about caring for others. Her amulet began to glow brightly, releasing a wave of golden light. The maze walls shifted again, forming a new path, one that led back toward Amber's team. "Come on," Sofia said with determination. "Let's go bring them home." And together, the four friends stepped back into the maze, their hearts shining brighter than ever. Guided by the soft golden light from Sofia's amulet, the team retraced their steps through the maze. The vines no longer twisted to block them. Instead, they gently parted as if recognizing their purpose. The air shimmered with faint magic, and in the distance they heard faint voices calling for help. "That sounds like Amber," James exclaimed. "Come on!" They hurried toward the sound until they reached a dead end where Amber, Hildegard, Cleo, and Princess June were trapped in a circle of enchanted vines. The more they struggled, the tighter the vines grew. "Amber!" Sofia called out. "Hold still! We'll get you out!" Amber sighed dramatically. "Oh, thank goodness! I was starting to think we'd be stuck here forever. And this humidity is terrible for my hair." James chuckled. "Still worried about your hair, even in a magic maze?" Amber frowned. "Excuse me, I'm handling this situation gracefully." Sofia smiled warmly. "It's okay, Amber. We'll free you." She raised her wand, but the magic from the vines pulsed and pushed back. It's resisting. Maybe it needs more than spells." Vivian played a soft tune on her flute, hoping to calm the vines. The glowing strands loosened slightly, but didn't release. Then Sofia remembered Cedric's words. "Every test will challenge your heart." "This maze reacts to how we treat each other," Sofia said softly. "We have to show kindness, not magic, to break the spell." Amber blinked. "Kindness? But how do we do that?" "Let's start by thinking about each other instead of ourselves," Sofia suggested gently. Amber hesitated, then sighed. "All right. Sofia, I suppose I've been a bit bossy lately. You always help others without worrying about winning, and I could learn from that." The vines shimmered faintly, loosening further. Sofia smiled. "And I could learn from your confidence, Amber. You always believe you can do anything. That's inspiring." The vines began to bloom, their thorny strands transforming into soft flowers. The two sisters exchanged a look filled with warmth and understanding. Vivian stepped closer. "It's working. Keep going." Cleo nodded. "Amber, say something nice to June, too." Amber turned sheepishly. "June, I'm sorry I ignored your idea earlier about which path to take. It was actually a clever plan." June giggled. "Thanks, Amber. I forgive you." At that moment the vines released completely, scattering glowing petals into the air. The maze walls faded, revealing a wide clearing bathed in moonlight. A new stone archway appeared ahead, with runes glowing softly in gold. Sofia read them aloud. "Kindness opens every door. When hearts unite, the light will soar." As they stepped through together, the two teams merged into one. No longer rivals, they walked side by side, laughing and sharing stories as they continued down the glowing trail. Amber looked at Sofia with a grin. "You know, little sister, maybe having 4 people isn't such a crowd after all." Sofia giggled. "It's just the right number when hearts work together." Cedric's voice echoed faintly through the forest once more. "Impressive, Princess. You've unlocked the virtue of true kindness, but the final test awaits, the one that will reveal whether your unity can withstand even darkness." The group exchanged nervous but excited glances. The golden path ahead was now leading up a hill where the trees parted, and at the very top a radiant glow pulsed like a heartbeat. The crystal of unity awaited. Sofia looked back at her friends. This is it, everyone. The final challenge. And with that, the newly united friends took their first steps toward the glowing summit, their hearts shining brighter than ever before. The friends climbed the glowing hill, their hearts racing with excitement and a touch of nervousness. At the top, they found a wide, moonlit clearing. In its center stood a tall crystal pedestal, and floating above it was the crystal of unity, a glowing gem that shimmered in every color of the rainbow. Its light pulsed softly, as if it were alive and breathing. Sofia stepped closer, her eyes full of wonder. "We finally found it," she whispered. Amber twirled a strand of her hair proudly. "Well, of course we did. Team Amber and Team Sofia. Oh, wait, I suppose we're just one big team now." James chuckled. "That's what makes it better, Amber." But just as Sofia reached toward the glowing crystal, Cedric's voice filled the air, echoing like wind through chimes. "The crystal of unity shines only for those whose hearts are truly one. Doubt divides, pride darkens, fear weakens, only honesty brings light." As his words faded, the light of the crystal began to flicker. The air grew cold, and dark clouds swirled overhead. The meadow trembled, and from the shadows emerged glowing reflections of each of them, mirror images with eyes like silver fire. James frowned. "What in Enchancia is that supposed to be?" Sofia's reflection stepped forward first. "You think you can help everyone, Sofia," it said softly, "but you never trust others to lead beside you." Sofia's heart sank. "That's not true," she began, but then paused. Maybe, just maybe, it was, a little. Amber's reflection smirked at her. "You say you've changed, Amber, but you still want to be the best at everything." Amber stepped back, startled. "No, I was just trying to help this time." Vivian's reflection whispered, "You still hide behind your flute instead of speaking your truth." Xandar's reflection laughed. "And you, always trying to lead the way, afraid to follow someone else." The real friends stared at one, another in shock. The crystal dimmed even more, until only a faint glow remained. Sofia looked around desperately. These reflections aren't enemies. They're pieces of who we are. We can't fight them. We have to accept them. Amber blinked. "Accept them? But they're saying terrible things." "They're saying the truth," Sofia said gently. "And that's how unity begins, when we stop hiding from what's inside." She took Amber's hand first. "I do try to help everyone, but I know I need all of you." Amber squeezed her hand. "And I do like to be the best, but I want to be the best with you, not against you." James stepped forward next. "I just want to make Dad proud, but I forget that being brave doesn't mean doing everything alone." Vivian smiled softly. "And I'll speak up more. My music isn't the only thing that matters. My heart does too." One by one, they admitted their truths. As they did, their reflections began to glow brighter, then merged with them in a swirl of golden light. The crystal of unity suddenly flared to life, brighter than ever before. Cedric's voice echoed warmly. "You have done well, my young royals. Unity is not perfection. It is the courage to accept one another completely." The storm clouds vanished, replaced by soft moonlight and twinkling stars. The crystal descended gently into Sofia's hands, warm and radiant. Amber smiled. "You were right, Sofia. When we stopped trying to outshine each other, everything just fit." Sofia laughed softly. "That's what unity feels like." As the golden light surrounded them, the forest transformed. Flowers bloomed, fireflies danced, and the winds carried a gentle melody. The quest was complete. The crystal of unity had chosen them. The next morning, as dawn broke across the skies of Enchancia, a stream of golden light flowed from the Enchanted Forest and stretched all the way to the castle. The crystal of unity gleamed softly in Sofia's hands as she and her friends made their way home, escorted by a swirl of gentle, glowing butterflies that followed them like a living ribbon of light. "Do you think the king and queen will believe what happened?" James asked, eyes wide with excitement. Sofia smiled. When they see this crystal, they'll believe it. But more than that, they'll see us, as a team. Amber tossed her golden curls and grinned. Well, as long as they see how radiant we look after saving the kingdom, I'm fine with that. Everyone laughed, and the moment felt lighter than the morning breeze. When they reached the castle gates, Bailiwick gasped, bowing deeply. "Princess Sofia, Princess Amber, Prince James, you're safe. The king and queen have been worried sick." They hurried inside, where King Roland and Queen Miranda stood waiting. Miranda rushed forward, embracing Sofia tightly. "Oh, Sofia, thank goodness you're all right. What happened?" Sofia held up the shimmering crystal. "We found the crystal of unity. It was hidden deep within the Enchanted Forest, waiting for those who could prove they truly understood teamwork and friendship." King Roland's eyes softened with pride. "That's quite the adventure, and I see that you've all returned stronger than before." Amber straightened. "Father, we did have a few disagreements along the way, but in the end, we found harmony. The crystal wouldn't shine until we did." Queen Miranda smiled. "That's what family means, Amber. It's not about being the same. It's about standing together through everything." Later that evening, the grand ballroom glittered with candles and crystal chandeliers. The royal family had gathered with guests from Acroces. The kingdom for a special celebration. The theme of the night was unity, and golden banners bearing the crest of Enchancia hung from every wall. As Sofia stepped onto the stage beside her friends, Cedric appeared, clearing his throat. "Ahem. I suppose I must admit your teamwork was rather impressive. And well, the crystal's magic has even restored some of the forest's ancient wonders. So, well done, truly." Sofia giggled softly. "Thank you, Mr. Cedric. We couldn't have done it without what you taught us." Cedric smirked. Yes, I do give rather excellent lessons." Music filled the hall as Vivian began to play her flute, joined by Xandar's lute and a chorus of voices. The melody of the Song of Unity echoed through the castle, soft and shimmering like light reflected on water. Sofia turned to Amber and James. "I think this is the start of something new for all of us." Amber nodded. "Agreed. From now on, I promise to share the spotlight." James grinned. "And I promise to keep my pranks for after missions only." They all laughed as the crowd clapped along, their laughter mingling with the music. Then, as the night grew quiet, the crystal of unity floated into the air above them, releasing a burst of gentle light that filled the ballroom. For a brief, breathtaking moment, everyone saw reflections of their hearts, golden, glowing, and connected. Sofia looked up at the shining gem and whispered, "No matter how different we are, together we shine brighter." Amber took her hand, and James placed his on top. The crowd cheered as the royal siblings stood united beneath the crystal's glow. And as the music swelled one last time, the words of Cedric's spell echoed faintly through the air. Unity is the magic that never fades. The crystal's light spread across Enchancia, blessing the kingdom with peace and harmony once again. The adventure had ended, but his lesson would last forever. When hearts unite, even the smallest spark can light the whole world.